Okay, in this video, we're going to look at how to add a file, a link, or an external tool in Schoology. So within Schoology, you'll want to make sure that you're within one of your courses or a sandbox course that you've created under materials. And if you want to put it in a particular unit or subunit, you can do that using the little green lines. So if I want to add a tool or a file to unit 1, I'm going to click under, let's just do it under subfolder 1. So I'm going to click that little green plus or line and say add file, link, or external tool. And from here, I'm going to get 3 different options. So we'll look at each of these a little bit, do some exploration. So if I click file, I get the option to attach a file. So this is something that you have saved on your computer or somewhere in a file folder structure. So if I go attach file, mine defaults to the desktop. Whatever your file structure looks like for your particular work, it will open up. So if I wanted to attach something that I've created in the past, so maybe I'll put the flyer for this LMS 101. If I want to add that PDF, I've attached that file. I can attach multiple files to a particular option here. If I wanted to align it to a particular learning objective, I could, just so that if I was someone that was using that standards-based alignment and I knew that this attached or connected with a particular thing, I might want to do that. Options here, these 3 little buttons are to individually assign this to students. For this particular one, I'll just leave it open for all. And again, that little green circle is to publish to students. So if you want to wait and publish it later, you're gonna uncheck that. I'll leave it checked for now. So then I can just say add. So I have now added a file to my subfolder 1, and now it shows up. You can see the title of the PDF, it's clickable, and students can, or members of your class can now click on that and open it up and see it for themselves. So that's to add a file. So I can go in to that same add file link external tool. Let's look at the link. So that first one was file. I'm next let's just look at link a little bit. Link is anything with a URL. So you could attach or include a video that's on YouTube, or maybe you've made a video for your students going over how to do a process, or maybe it's to introduce yourself, or whatever that video is, or maybe it's for other content that you found on YouTube that you want to share with your students. You're going to put the link here. It could also just be a link to another website. So let's not use Padlet. Let's see. So I'll just use our continuous learning for the AESD website as an option here. So I put the link there. If you want to have it, give it a different title. So I might call this continuous learning, because that's what that link is going to take me to content for. Again, I can align it to learning objectives, and the options are similar to the file. So I can individually assign to and only make it visible to certain students. I can display in Schoology, or if I unclick this, it's now displayed in a new window. So if you want them to stay within Schoology, but they can view the page within Schoology, you want to make sure that this little option is highlighted. If you want it to take them to a separate page, you can uncheck that and it will display, it'll open a new window for students. So whichever, if you have a preference, you'll just want to make sure you have that selected in the right way. And then this publish to students, I can uncheck that. It won't be published until I'm ready. So I'll leave that on so it's available right away. But you can always change that setting individually once you have it posted. So I'm just going to add this content. And now underneath that PDF, I now have, and it has a little link symbol. Continuous learning is the title. And if I were to click on that, it will open. Because I told it to open within Schoology, I'm still within Schoology itself, but it's taken me to that continuous learning supports page through the AESD, which is where this course is housed on. So that's how you add a link. So I'm going to go back to my Schoology section because I want to show you one more thing. So let's open this up so we can see the rest of it. So I'm going to go in and add, let's take a look at the external tool. So I'm going to do that add file link, external tool. And let's just take a look at this. I think most of you will probably not spend a lot of time in this because it's linking your Schoology with some other tool. So let's say you're using STAR or you're using ABC or one of the other kind of platforms or products that your district might have access for you. Your district will be setting up a lot of if the district has approved a tool for you to use, that can be set up through the district to allow everyone just easy access to that tool. So you will probably not be doing a lot of this yourself, but if for some reason you need to do that, that's where you'll find how to add an external site. So the tool provider, it will generate on its own based on the URL. So let's say Padlet might not be the best example, but the URL to, let's say you have a STAR account or your students are using STAR. So the URL might be that STAR website. The title, if you want to, whatever you might want to title it, the consumer key and shared secret. This is where if you're, this is why it's difficult for you to do this individually, because you probably don't have the consumer key or shared secret. That is what the provider, if you've, your district has gone into an agreement with, they would be providing that key and secret. So a lot of this is not going to be known by you individually. So, but if for some reason you're in charge of putting this in, you'll need to get the key and the secret from probably your district IT person or whoever has set up your accounts with those external providers. So if you had that, you would say submit, and then it would go through the process to set that up for your students to be able to access. So one thing I did want to show you on here. So a lot of times people ask, what do students see? So in Schoology, once you have some content in here, you might want to just check and see what does this look like from the student end. So if you go to course options, you can view, once you have, if you don't have any students in here yet, you won't see this option. But if you have students populated in your courses, you can view the course as, and I have Janice Joplin in here. So I'm going to click, I want to view this course as Janice. And if I click on that, it will now give me, and it reminds me at the top here that this is how it's going to look to this student. Now I can see the structure. So it no longer has all of that stuff where you were creating and you can move things around. It looks very similar, but it's more of it's all set kind of in its place, and students don't have all the options to make changes and all that stuff. So as a student, I can now see all of this information. I can click on anything that's in here and access materials that you as the teacher have put in. So if you ever want to check and see kind of what students are able to see, that's how you do that. So I'm going to go back to the course. And now I'm back into where I can add materials and do all of the things to build the rest of my course. So again, that was under course options and view course as. So we went over a couple of things there. The main content here was to add files and links, and reminder that external tools will probably be dealt with mostly by your district because they have all the information they need to set those up.